Welcome to the Deucecast Extra. We are here with a somewhat truncated show because there's no episode of 1883 to talk about. So we're here to just...
Sorry, Roth.
Sorry, Roth. Yeah, he's hanging out in the chat, so it's good to see him hanging out in the chat. We've got a lot of people in the chat. I'll shout out Brian, Melissa, Roth is in there. So good to see all you guys hanging out, and we'll have a fun night tonight. We are here, of course, to talk about Chapter 4 of the Book of Boba Fett, The Gathering Storm, directed by Kevin Tankaron. I don't know. Tankaronian? I was close. I don't know. Yeah, you're on mute there, Nick. All that great stuff you just said about Kevin, whatever his name is. We didn't get to.
It was actually me dealing with a child who is refusing to go to bed at the moment. So forgive me.
Okay. No. Hey, it's all good.
He's not talking to you, Mikey.
But I'm excited to be here because I know we're talking about Ozark season 4, Peacemaker, and all the other
butterflies
stuff
and Peacemaker.
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
The butterflies. Yeah, the weird butterfly. You're not watching Peacemaker yet, are you, Clatunian crime boss?
No, I don't know. I'll step off for that if y'all want to do that.
No, we're not doing that.
I'm just being silly. Don't mind me. It's my usual.
Ryfun, how's it going, buddy? How's your week been?
It's been good. Got some college work done. Just turned in a project just before I came on here. And maybe I have a little bit of what the upcoming Deucecast Extra schedule is like in the future.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, because Ryfun and I have been talking. We're not going to take a break, even though there are no shows. We're finding a way. No. We're finding a way to keep this thing
every week.
Yes. Look, you don't have to be here, dude.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, we can. Roth and me, we can figure this out. We'll figure this out. Rife and Roth, we'll figure this out.
We got some ideas.
We have ideas, but Dr. Earl, even though you're a very busy man, we are happy to have you here, sir. How's it going?
It's going very well, thank you.
And then back as always, we have to have our Star Wars expert, Mr. Nick Milkey from Podcast of the Whills and Streaming Star Wars. How's it going, buddy?
Excellent. Yeah, I'm excited that even though you're not going to stop Extra, it's just going to turn into a West Wing and Sopranos watch podcast, which I'm also fully on board for. So
I don't believe that's
me. I'm just
eating, as they say. That can be March 29th if you really want it to be.
March 29th.
One of those pick a month where there's only 30 days and it'll be the 31st of that month, that kind of thing.
The doctor needs a sabbatical. Yeah. Oh, Craig, what's up, buddy? Craig's joining us tonight. Good to see you in the chat, man. This was a packed full episode. This episode was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it. Could be our last back to pod moment. I don't know. Maybe.
Yes, I think
maybe
so.
not.
Yes,
100%.
We're done.
We're feeling it.
I think that they were certainly telling the audience that, but
yes,
they could be swerving us. Who knows?
You kind of have to ask yourself at this point if there was anything left.
There's not any more story.
I saw somebody actually say on Twitter today, what's the last thing left? Him painting his armor inside.
Right. I mean, that's kind of like
he gets it back.
Because
we've seen the rest of it.
We've pretty much seen the rest of it, which is fine. I mean, I liked that story element, and I liked the way they were doing that because it fills in a little bit of gaps, but not every single second of every gap. I don't necessarily need that, but I did like the backstory because, I mean, this episode for me was very eye-opening into Boba's mindset and like where Boba is. And we'll get to that. I mean, I'll kind of go in order here. I mean, we see that back to pod shot that we're so used to that we hopefully won't see anymore. And Boba is sort of just like roaming the desert aimlessly on his bantha.
A very slow moving bantha.
I think what we find out is that banthas aren't herbivores; they're omnivores, and so he needed some meat.
Wikipedia is wrong.
Does Wikipedia? What does Wikipedia say? Herbivore?
They had them as herbivores, at least before the episode.
They're not much
challenging because I was gonna say in a desert environment, what plants are we eating exactly?
No,
there's apparently trees on Tatooine, so. Yeah. It was funny to get to see that bantha eat some meat. He scopes out Jabba's palace for a second or so, finds out that it's probably a little bit too much for him to handle on his own. I'm not sure like what his plan was at that point, though. I mean, if he's like, I can't do this on my own, he doesn't have anybody at that point. So he kind of gets lucky when he sees, I guess, Toro Calican's flares shoot up in the air.
Right.
Which was...
I'm so disappointed we didn't see Toro Calican.
Dude, there's another guy...
Wait. That's what's coming tomorrow. Because
yes.
We heard
Please bring back Toro.
The Mando music is going to presage the return of Toro Calican.
Oh, so you think he was just...
What we all wanted after season 1.
We all wanted more Toro.
That's right.
So you think he's modded now? You think Toro's modded and he's still alive?
Michael, if we know anything from Star Wars, no one's ever really gone.
No one's ever
No,
gone.
Jacob's wrong. Toro was the best actor in season 1.
Yeah, man. Don't say that about Toro. I mean, that's Bobby Cannavale's kid.
Definitely
trying
don't
to
go back and listen to our comments about him.
Are you trying to shill to be on Steel Wars at this point? Because I mean,
I don't know. Does he shill for Toro?
Pretty much, yeah. There's some unabashed Toro love.
Steele Saunders, man, he would love Toro to show back up, and I would love it for him. I mean, I think that would be just like
his Ignite the Green thing happened, so maybe
this is true. I mean, come on, it could happen again.
That and what was the your Snoke theory sucks?
Your Snoke theory that was on Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, you know, the dude. So this could happen. The Toro could come back. So he sees the flares. He comes upon Fennec, and he immediately knows about the mod parlor, which I found somewhat interesting. I guess he's been on Tatooine a lot in his life. I mean, obviously, so he knows.
I am Boba Fett.
I am Boba Fett.
Left for dead on the sands of Tatooine.
Tatooine. I love the way that he says Tatooine. What? Oh, Roth, dude, he's still very active. I still, from time to time, check out Steel Wars. It's a fun show. Not as fun as this one, of course, but
no.
I mean, nothing's as fun as this one. Oh, is Matt's talking about the Prestige in the chat? I'm gonna have to stop looking at the chat.
Well,
I'm getting very distracted.
You got to go back to understand where that comment.
I know. I'm getting very distracted by the chat. What did you guys think of this mod part?
When did we talk about twins or people cloning themselves?
I don't know. I don't know. What did you guys think of the mod parlor scene? Pretty interesting for Star Wars.
Meh.
I thought the mod squad scene was interesting. The music was interesting. My dad had an interesting comment he made about the music, and I know Nick got to see it on the
Thundercat
on his earlier podcast. Yeah, he's like a R&B guitarist.
No. Suicidal Tendencies is not an R&B.
Yeah,
that is not an R&B band.
okay, but he also won his Grammy with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, you're right.
On a very inappropriate song that I will not talk about. But I don't know that's. I didn't look in the credits, but the music in that scene kind of sounded like something he would make.
It was,
and I think
I think he did.
Yeah, it was.
Okay,
it's part of the package.
Somebody was saying that it was like a combo of some of his bass work and some of the DJ work he's done before.
Okay.
So like he kind of came up with it. And I'm with Brian. I've this episode, I'll be honest, I only watched twice. Once on Tuesday at 2 a.m. and then this afternoon I watched it again. And I liked it the second time also. It felt Star Warsy enough for me. I mean, that whole scene really was pretty cool to me.
My dad said it was like a mix between acoustic and synthetic music and synth music, just like they were making people that were synthetic and human as well.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
I thought the scene was fine because it gave you an explanation as to where she got her parts. I always figured he took her somewhere. Although I did see some people online that thought that she just had those parts in her the whole time, and that
I would have liked that. That would have been cool. Like if she
time.
Was. Yeah,
I felt like Boba had patched her up in some way, so I like that they showed us that. There were some things about the scene that didn't sit well with me the first time I watched it, but I haven't rewatched it, so
that's not how that's not how your abdomen works. That's not how your guts work.
Let's hear from the doctor about this.
I mean, she's going to eat food. Where's it going to go amongst all those pistons? I don't understand. What is going to happen in the end?
That's not how abs work.
Yeah.
Look, dude, we had Darth
We gotta
Maul
suspend
with
a little
spider
disbelief.
legs
I know,
at
I'm
one
just kidding.
point. You've got to suspend the disbeliefs. I mean, Darth Maul stopped being able to go to the bathroom at some point in his life, and we just went with that. So
Von Rent,
Well,
I agree.
but don't we
yes,
think?
I totally agree.
Do we think maybe she already had like her midsection sort of
No,
modified? That's what I thought. No, when she was shot?
Because she took the gut shot from.
Colostomy bot.
Yeah, she took the gut shot from Toro in that Mando episode, and so that's
so
where it all came from.
then they modified her. Okay.
Yeah,
It
They
was
just
the
carved
life-saving.
out.
That's right.
I will
Yeah,
say
look,
that
Craig's
Look.
right. The food goes in the tubes. I mean, come on,
Just
It
like
works.
everything else.
Just
Look,
like
I was-
everything else.
I was born in the
It's an
70s.
interconnected series of tubes, just like the internet.
Yeah,
There was a point where they showed the edge of her body that looked like
Yes.
I was like, are we I feel like I was watching $6 Million Man, like from
No,
the
yeah.
70s. You just saw like I
Now
was
you're
like,
gonna make me like it more.
I keyed
that's
in,
okay.
I keyed into that exact moment, Earl.
you know what I'm
because-
talking about? It's the
Yeah,
edge
I know
was-
exactly. It was like this curve, and it was right here, but it was like half an inch thick. Like it was
And it
really
looked
like,
like it-
noticeable, and it was metal in the middle, but it was
Yeah.
kind of
I was
skin on the
kinda like,
outside. Like
yeah,
at some
okay.
point, you're going, where do these two things meet? But it's
Yeah.
Star Wars. It's the same reason we don't argue about explosions in space.
It's
a
quick.
part of the deal.
exactly.
It's fine. It's
Hey,
fine. Hey, Craig
whatever-
answered it. He said the food goes in the tubes.
I know.
There you go.
Whatever it takes to get Thundercat a cameo, I'm for. So I don't care. You know, if that's what the dude wanted to do, I'm for it. So we do get like some good moments between, you know, Fennec and Boba at that point where she kind of agrees to help him out. And that be like her paying her debt to him and get out basically at that point. Of course, that changes later in the episode, but I mean, it was cool that she basically went
Those
straight
are some
back to
good
her
conversations.
Yeah, she went straight back to her assassin ways and was like, "Look, this is my debt paid if I do this for you." You know, that type of thing. That is the point where, you know, we see them come upon back to Jabba's palace. She kind of explains like what's been going on with Bib Fortuna, because Boba just, you know, didn't know, I guess, what happened. So we get
in
some
the Sarlacc pit
He's
we
been in
get
the
some-
desert.
and in the desert.
yeah, we get some explanation there. And then she says something about a Gatra, which I was like, oh, Gatra. That's a new word for Star Wars. And I had to look it up. I had no idea what it was. It's apparently a clan or a house is a Gatra. It's a Hindi term. Is that what we figured out, Ryfun? A Hindi term?
Yeah, something. Yeah, Hindi, whatever.
So that was, they're mixing a lot. They've got the Daimo and the Major Domo and the Gatra. They're mixing a lot of like Asian countries together there.
Asian culture, yeah.
Asian culture. Yeah, and I did not hear her say that. I had to see that on the closed captioning when I watched it today.
And Daimo is a part of, that's a word used a lot in Lone Wolf and Cub as well. A term used a lot in Lone Wolf and Cub as well, which we know that Mandalorian is sort of takes a little bit of inspiration from. So.
So they're going back to get his ship, the infamous ship, and I was happy to see it. I was ready to see that thing because my only question, like, so as far as continuity and timeline is concerned, the ship that blew up
There it is.
in this that's awesome. The ship that blew up in the second season of Clone Wars, that was not the original Slave One. Was that, I mean, or I guess we never saw it actually blow up, but we saw it go over a cliff. And the Star Wars thing, you know, not everything.
I don't remember Clone Wars being one of the weaker points in my everything. I don't remember for sure. I know the big thing was, you know, and of course with all the controversy about the name and fire spray and all that kind of stuff.
Oh wait, yep. I'm glad Fetmatic's here. So that he says that that was the original ship. So I'm guessing it was just repaired at some point then, and we're just never going to see that.
Yeah.
And just to clarify for this Star Wars novice, is this the same ship that Jango Fett?
Oh, yes.
It is the same ship. Yeah.
It's always been the same ship.
It's always been the same ship. Now, was Django's a different color? Maybe it was repainted at some point.
It was silver.
It was like more metallic.
I got the toy in my room. So.
Oh, Roth is giving me some information here that Hondo repaired it. Okay.
That's possible.
Hondo. I remember Hondo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody loves Hondo.
Mhm.
I hope he shows up in one of these series on Disney Plus. Actually,
Heck yeah. We
I'll-
put
okay.
Shaz Bazaar in the episode.
Oh yeah, he was. Hey, his cosplay as Hondo was good, man.
Yes.
That was legit.
Yeah, I'm not joking. I just
we
don't
get-
think it would happen.
No, it wouldn't happen. We get them sort of using that cool little droid that looked like a miniature interrogator droid almost. That they sort of, or it looked like a miniature. I can't remember.
droid. Yeah, I mean, it
probe
had kind of a
kinda.
probe droid vibe. It wasn't obviously as spider-like and that kind of deal, but
Yeah.
the
It was cool,
noises
though.
gave me or probe droid vibes.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I think that there was more different types of droids in this episode.
This is a very droid-heavy episode.
It's a
This was like
droid-heavy
a
episode.
lot of droids going on in this episode because we get that really fun kitchen scene. I had fun with it. I thought
That was fun.
when I saw it at first, I was like, and then I was like, you know what? This is very Star Wars, and I'm very into this. I mean,
I liked it the first time.
The chef droid with the knives.
Yeah.
And Nick, we had seen that guy before or not?
We have. He was the pancake flipping droid in Attack of the Clones.
Right.
When Anakin and Padme go
That's
undercover
right.
on the public transport ship to go to Naboo.
Yeah.
And going through the cafeteria style food line, that was the droid that appeared to be flipping flapjacks.
That
He's
is
a very
hilarious.
talented chef. He can.
Well, and as my name now reflects, because I now remember who I wanted to
General
be for this episode.
That's awesome.
That droid has gotten the name, and I can't take credit for it. But over the course of the last week on the internet, General Clevis has become what that droid, because of course it does very much mirror Grievous with the swinging sabers, and
he
the whole
opens up
deal.
his arms, and
Exactly.
That is hilarious. So I'm sort of like, there was too much violence against droids in this episode, by the way. I mean, Finnick just like
There was a lot of
goes straight for the neck of that poor droid. I mean, all the dude was trying to do was, I mean, maybe he would have attacked her, but he was just cooking for Bib Fortuna at that point. I mean, good grief.
droid lives matter. Come on.
Yeah, droid lives do matter. I was like, come on, man.
I mean, what's the little one that walks around?
Well, that's the Lep
Gonk
droid.
That's the Lep droid.
Oh,
the
you're
one
talking
that's-
about Gonk. He was
I'm
in this
talking about
episode,
Gonk.
too.
She blew up
Yeah.
Gonk.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, man,
It's
on.
rough, man.
He
It's rough
wasn't
out there
doing
for a
anything. He was
droid.
just an innocent bystander, but you know.
What's up, Scotty? Dude,
Right.
thank you for
Mr.
stopping by, my
J-Ro.
man. That's awesome.
Got a J-Ro.
Yeah, I mean, and the sous chef droid, which was an EV droid, not EV99, probably EV98 though. I mean, I'm just gonna say EV98. It wasn't the actual, unless he has two jobs, but I don't know.
Well, somebody put a funny theory up online that maybe he got demoted, although that would be problematic because Jabba died. And, the last we see 99, he's down in the basement, torturing people and stamping feet and whatnot.
Yeah.
But you find a job that you can still do at the point when the boss goes away. So
Yeah.
I never saw credits or anything to indicate whether that was really 99 or not.
No, the closed captioning just calls him a sous chef droid. I mean, that's
Okay.
basically, yeah. I mean, it says chef droid, sous chef
Sous
droid,
chef, yeah.
and rat catcher are like the three
The
droids
rat,
that we
yes.
see.
Rat catcher.
And he was a left droid, which was awesome.
We've seen that
is-
droid before, right? In Rebels
yeah,
or
Clone Wars.
Clone
Clone
Wars.
Wars?
That droid
Yeah.
was in
that,
Clone
or that
Wars, yeah.
style of droid. I'm not
Yes.
saying
That
it's the exact-
style, yeah.
I remember because I
that
remember
style
that droid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So they at that after all that chicanery happened, they finished their mission and get the ship. Although the one key thing, and you see it later in the episode, is the Lep droid lived and is helping Boba out now.
Yes.
So I was happy to see that the Lep droid lived. He shut himself off, which was
Yeah, that was funny. He
which was
reaches
really
down.
funny.
When he was
That-
being threatened.
Shadow virus duology. What? All right, Fett Matic. I
Shadow
love
virus
Star Wars,
duology.
dude,
Duology.
but I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about here.
Duology.
Duology. Yeah, that's interesting.
Blue Shadow Virus. That's a Clone Wars
Yes, it is.
thing, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Fat man, you got to spell it out more for me, dude. My brain. I'm an old man. The blue shadow. virus.
My twin daughters, for whatever reason, my oldest is my Star Wars kid, and I've talked about that before. Both of them, though, for whatever reason, have gravitated to the Blue Shadow Virus episode. So anytime Clone Wars is mentioned, they just start cackling, like, ha ha ha, Blue Shadow Virus. Like, for whatever reason, at the point that they probably saw it 2 or 3 years ago when they were like 10, something struck them as funny about that. So
I need to go look that episode up.
Yeah.
I need to look that episode up. I need to do a Clone Wars rewatch, in all honesty. I mean,
that's a good.
I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, if there wasn't so many Disney Plus shows coming, maybe we could use this for that. But there's too much. It's too much. It's
right.
we couldn't do it. We unfortunately see a Gonk droid get completely blown to pieces, which was a bummer to me. I always hate to see a Gonk blow up, but man, those things being power droids, they pack a punch when they explode. Though.
Well, and did you notice
Their
this
battery
one
droids,
was like a double-decker Gonk droid?
Yeah, he was bigger.
It had 2 sets of feet. It was like twice
Yeah.
as long,
Oh,
like
wow.
an 18-wheeler. Like, it was a dually. That's what it was.
It's a dually
In
droid.
parlance of the South, that was a dually Gonk droid.
So the cool thing that I liked in that particular sequence, I mean, obviously getting to see Boba's ship was awesome, but with Kevin Tackeronian or whatever directing, he's worked with Ming-Na a lot, and so we got to see some martial art.
Shield.
Yeah, we got to see some martial arts stuff.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
Yes.
Just getting her to see her do some of that, because that's all she did all through Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was martial arts stuff.
Yeah,
But,
as Melinda May. Yeah,
The
as Melinda
cavalry.
May.
The cavalry.
yes.
Yeah, she is fantastic. I agree, Roth. Ming-Na is the best.
I didn't
no
even
doubt.
realize who directed this episode, but when you said that name, I've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I saw that name recently when I was going through episodes. Yeah.
That he is a guy that must really, because he did for Machinima, he did a Mortal Kombat series back in the day, before the movie was even like thought about. There was this awesome Mortal Kombat short series on Machinima when it used to, I don't even think it's a thing anymore on YouTube.
No, it's not.
But it was pretty cool because it had that actress that was in Star Trek as the Borg girl. She was like part Borg, and she helped Picard out. She was in it, and there was a couple other.
Unfamiliar.
Never seen The Next Generation.
I've never heard of Star Trek.
Machinima's old school. I bet Fatmatic knows what I'm talking about, because they had a lot of anime
Never
stuff.
heard of Machinima. I mean, like that's like early YouTube, like the good stuff.
Roth,
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is, but I've heard of it.
It's an old YouTube channel.
They used to do a lot of. Like,
I've never heard of
nerdy
Machinima
and video
either.
game content stuff.
Yeah, video game. Oh, Jerry Ryan. That's right. That's her name. That's exactly
Jerry
right.
Ryan.
Thanks, Fatmatic. So they get out of there, and like, what? So there was one part earlier in the episode where Ming-Na or Fennec, I'm sorry, was not really buying into the fact that the Nikto bikers took out the Tusken Raiders. She didn't think that was a possibility. What do you guys? Do we need to think anything about that, or was it pretty much wrapped up pretty quick in this very next sequence?
Yeah, to me, it was very straightforward. I mean, because he had been taken with the other Tuskens to see, when they raid that farm and they're doing the graffiti on the side of the building. And, we get it set up in a bunch of different ways. When he goes to Tosche Station and runs into Cammy and Fixer, like that's a running thread. I think it's just giving us the evidence we need to go, yeah, this is who did this.
Yeah, I mean, and Boba really wasn't listening to her anyways, obviously, because he just went and wiped the whole bunch of them out.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I was gonna say, I really like that they just took the easy solution on that, and I wish that in a later scene they would have just taken the obvious easy solution. And I get building up tension, but I think it's fairly obvious that you should drop a bomb in the Sarlacc pit first, and then lower yourself towards the Sarlacc.
Then look for your
Yeah. I love when Brian does this.
Oh look!
Now
Now we got Jacob saying people complain about. I'm not complaining about him searching for his armor. I just
no. I bought that totally,
because look,
let's blow it up
we
first,
know it's
right?
Beskar, so it'll survive an explosion.
Right.
So just send the bomb down, then we could check.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing with him not recalling like where his armor was, the dude was like on his deathbed when the Jawas took it off of him. He's not going to recall.
Yeah,
I mean,
he just barely crawled out. And
like from a medical standpoint, Dr. Earl, don't you think that's like can totally happen if you're like in and out of consciousness? I mean, come on.
Well, from my perspective, when you do escape from a Sarlacc pit, there often is shock. There's acid burns to the skin.
Of course.
There's dehydration. A lot of times you're delirious. I mean, you just don't know where you are.
Let me tell you that there is also clearly some bloat that happens. I just watched Return of the Jedi, and Boba Fett goes in the Sarlacc pit, a very skinny man.
Well, you know.
Well, and speaking of that, and I retweeted it first thing earlier today. Did y'all see the thing that somebody put together that said, imagine if Return of the Jedi had a post-credit scene and they run the credits of Jedi?
Yeah.
And then they cut to the hand coming out and the whole deal.
That was awesome.
That was really fun.
Yes, that is awesome. I would watch this series if it ever happened.
I'm going to be a background extra whenever that series.
That's right. Well, you have to shave your beard again, though. We can't let you have that beard. An extra,
in that time period, beards would have been totally fine.
Yeah, exactly. This is true. This is true.
That's fair.
We get the awesome concussion missile sound. Although, as he's not in the chat, so I'll just point this out. Rhett told me they did it wrong because they didn't drop the sound completely out before they concussed the missile. So,
but
they did it better in season 2.
That's right.
I thought about that.
Yes.
And it came up when it happened in Mando season 2.
Yeah.
The one everybody's so used to from Attack of the Clones happens in space. The one in Mando and the one in this happens in atmosphere. So the sound is going to be different.
Yes. And that's interesting because at the time,
that's a good call.
In season 2, Rhett loved that sound effect.
He did. Well, because they did drop the sound out a little bit more in that. But this they had some, and Rhett was not having.
It's under the sand. It's not dropping through the air. So
exactly.
Which and I said I think we said this on Streaming Star Wars last Friday. I took a screenshot, that great shot that they have overhead as the starship is face down in the Sarlacc, right when the bomb goes off and you have the ring in the sand, like the concussion waves. Can you imagine if we had gotten that shot in one of the trailers? How fun and speculative!
Man,
that would have been a great way to tease something that wasn't what everybody thought it was going to be, and just that hit me in a moment when I was looking for screenshots. To see something like that and go, ooh, we would have gone crazy thinking what's about to happen, and it wasn't what we thought it was.
No, I loved the moment. I thought it was great.
It's a good scene, and I'm just complaining because they took the easy solution earlier and then they didn't do it later.
Oh, right. I
get it. They wanted to build tension and make the moment scary.
And you get the jump scare from the thing coming out. And I do like when Noir came up. Yeah, I mean, Fennec just was like, okay.
Don't touch my buttons.
Don't touch my buttons. Yeah, exactly.
It honestly gave me a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe when she unbuckles and lands on the glass. Not Guardians.
That was cool.
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. The window when she's got Thor and the whole deal. Like it just had a Marvel ship vibe for a quick second.
There was a lot of really good shots in this particular episode. Like a lot of I would say almost movie quality shots.
Well,
I mean,
the cinematographer I think was back.
Oh, really? The same one? I thought it was a different. I don't know.
Let me check.
I thought it was a different guy.
Back from where? Back from vacation?
No, I mean there was one guy there was one guy that did a lot of work with Kevin Smith. I don't know if that was chapter 3 or this chapter. But I shouted that out on Twitter because I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. So when I noticed that guy did Kevin's first 3 movies as the cinematographer, I was like, oh dude, he gets to work in Star Wars now. That's pretty awesome. Because gosh, that shot of the ship like in the desert before they get to the Sarlacc pit, that looked awesome.
Oh, this was Dean Cundy.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
This was the Back to the Future guy that has
the Back to the Future guy.
Yeah, okay. No,
it looked really, really good. Yeah, so he did chapter 2 and chapter 4 then,
right?
Because the chapter 3 guy was the Kevin Smith guy.
Right.
So that's cool. Melissa, right on. I mean, The production value was excellent. I did not see much of the volume.
Can I
did
give
not
an important update? I'm sorry to break in.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
I know this is going to
Did
be
Auburn
important
win?
for Earl and I in particular. Auburn won 55-54.
Whoa, my gosh.
That's
they
not
just
good enough
beat?
for number one, guys.
Missouri.
Come on.
That's a tough. Hey,
That's
look,
big for us,
here's the
though.
deal. Here's the
That's
deal,
big for
though, right? And I know we're going to go off
War
on a little basketball tangent here, but here's the deal. Like, you just beat Kentucky, like one of your biggest rivals. It's tough to get hyped up for that next game. I mean,
And it's the Sports Illustrated curse. You get on the cover of Sports Illustrated with number one.
right?
You might as well be
right.
on the cover of Madden Football. What are we talking about?
Nah.
You guys know that
Exactly.
Florida State's won like 9 in a row.
Yep.
I know.
55-54.
Maybe they'll meet in the tourney. We'll
Thank
see.
you for the update, Nick. I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
I knew it was important for at least two of us.
Yes.
Hey, no, and Melissa, even though she's in Tejas, she's shouting out War Eagle, so I like it.
Absolutely.
War
All right,
Eagle.
carry on. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So pretty much after the Sarlacc pit, we do get that line from the dressing droid, which is what they call it in closed captioning, that you are completely healed. So that is
Right,
that's our
we have
indication.
ended the back to tank.
Yes,
We're
that's
done
our
with the backstory.
indication right there. That yeah. So I guess at that point, really, we get some more conversation between Finnick and Boba about strengthening the numbers and how he needs to show himself in public more often. And so they go back to the only place in Mos Espa, apparently, which is that bar, which is fine. I mean, it's not that, although it looks like a huge city, but they go back to that main bar, and Chrysanthemum is there.
It's the big bar. I mean, it's the
Chrysanthemum
dude
is not a happy camper right now.
I did like this scene a lot. This was
a cool scene because there is a lot of baggage between the Wookiees and the Trandoshans.
Correct.
There just is.
I don't think I realized that.
Oh, well, yeah. In the Clone Wars, there's like a 3-episode arc almost of the Trandoshans basically capturing Wookiees as slaves and taking them to a planet.
Okay.
If I remember correctly,
this makes a lot
I'm
of
sure
sense.
Roth could, I mean, not Roth. Matic can hook me up. No, I wasn't talking about Garrison.
Okay.
I wasn't talking about Garrison.
Okay.
Fatmatic was what I meant to say. Can correct me, someone who knows more. There's a thing in the Trandoshan culture about hunting Wookiees. Like, like it's a part of, that dynamic between the two.
Yeah, and Roth is right. I mean, this is where Ahsoka and Chewbacca first met.
Oh, that's right.
Was in that particular. I want to say it was a 3-episode arc. I don't know for sure, but I think it was close.
Most
to that.
things in Clone Wars are 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Yeah, they had at least 2 episodes. So I just wonder, like, if Chrysanthemum was one of those. There's a lot of backstory we don't know about Chrysanthemum because I mean, I personally don't read the comics, so I don't know too much about his backstory. So. It could be
I read
a situation
somewhere like some. Did he die
in the comic? I don't know.
Chrysanthemum?
3.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a 3-episode arc. Okay, that's good. I was right.
3 was the number.
3 was the number. So yeah, I mean, he just doesn't like Trandoshans. I don't think any Wookiee probably likes Trandoshans. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Santo. I mean. So again, that's almost like she must know him and she does, try and talk him down.
I like her the way she was working, trying to like obviously protect her.
Play to his ego, your reputation.
Yeah.
You were a great warrior. You were this. You were that. And because we're talking about her, and we talked about Finnick earlier.
Yeah.
Ming-Na Wen and Jennifer Beal both like.
Look
58 years old.
They look great for their age.
Yeah. Like I'm in love with both of them. Like I have no you can't say anything wrong about them. Like
Garza Fwip.
I mean
Garza Fwip,
Earl's 58 and he looks come on. No, you're not.
I'm 63. Come on, get it right.
I know, but you look like a young 43, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Whereas me, on the other hand, I look like an old, dying 43-year-old. But
hey, right there with you.
When my dad commented that Fwip was the big bad, he was not joking. That's been his theory for like 3 weeks now.
Oh, is he holding on to that?
Yes, he is.
Oh,
So-
really?
So he's going with
Okay.
the Falcon and Winter Soldier vibe.
Yeah, exactly. I still
I
think
don't know about really the big bad
Yeah, well,
that she's working with the Pikes.
I mean, she'd probably be working with someone else. I mean, look, this is his idea. Let me not speak for him.
well, no.
fully.
I mean, I could totally see that because Spice is a
Run
big deal to
downstairs
her.
and tell Scott to get up here and defend himself.
He's asleep.
It's
Hopefully.
not important.
Yeah, she
This is more important. Wake him up.
she certainly has to be in the Spice game, and so that look, she could be working with the Pikes. I mean, that's a very strong
I
possibility.
definitely don't trust her. I'll just say that.
No, I don't. I don't
Yeah.
think. Well, anybody that owns a bar in Mos Espa is not to be trusted. I mean, let's just.
I thought she was working with the Hutts, the twins.
Twins.
The
Yeah, I
twins.
could see that. When the mayor sends Boba back to her to go find out, what he needs to know, and she says, "Wait, you don't know, that." Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she does. You're right. She does allow droids in there. She's not anti-droid. She uses them as employees, but I mean, she's certainly not anti-droid.
They're slaves. Let's just be honest.
Let's be honest. They're slaves.
Sorry, they're fire sprays.
So Kersantin, look, I'm personally offended by the knuckle duster thing. They are
I saw that.
they are vibro knuckles. Thank you very much.
I tried
I
two
know.
separate times to get
I know,
Pablo to
man.
comment on
And
that.
I appreciate that, man. And he just wasn't having any of it because he knew that they were called knuckle dusters. So he's just not gonna go for it. He's not gonna take the bait. But anyways, yeah, and that's and that's when Flip was called him Santo. I was like, what is going on here? This is a little bit too chummy with Kersantin here. He deserves more respect than to be called Santo. So I guess Boba.
Look, she's got a relationship with him somehow. I mean, not like not that kind of relationship, but just she's aware of him. I liked how she was like, "Look, I'll waive your cost," and then he's just like,
yes, he's
"Nah, I want to rip.
He's gonna rip an arm off.
And
He's
then he
ripping
drops
an
the
arm.
money in.
Well, and of course that's a great, Easter egg, payoff for everybody since, 1977.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it is interesting, and I'm also, like you said earlier, Michael, I'm not a comic books guy. I know enough because I've done research about, the different things since he showed up and all of that. But part of that big thing and what we got when Boba is kind of quoting back to him in that first episode that he showed up, these aren't the fighting pits of Dur or whatever he said.
Right.
The story with BK, and I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago, is that he willingly submitted himself to gladiator pits wherever it was in order to become a greater warrior and this whole deal. I don't know where those gladiator pits were. I'm guessing they probably weren't on Tatooine, but what we don't know is, was Garza a part of that before she came and set up? There's clearly the way she has talked about him, either by reputation or by some association that she has had. There's a connection there. We kind of keep laughing about it, but there's enough there to make it her thing to try and disarm him, I guess.
No, I think there's
intended.
I think that at the very least, she's probably hired him for work before. I mean,
sure.
He's a bounty hunter, so
he'd be a great bouncer. I mean, let's face it, that's the guy you want at your door.
He would be a guy.
You got a club.
Exactly.
So I feel like we're ignoring the Solo erasure in the room.
I'm sorry. No, I'll go back to it. Yes, I understand. Chewbacca ripped arms off in Solo. I understand.
It's important, Mikey. This I've seen a lot of people say this is the first time the fan service moment is.
No, you're right.
Remind me, and I'll mail my fan card to whoever I need to. What was the arm Chewie ripped off in Solo? I don't drawing a blank.
Was it a robot?
I don't
know. I just trust Roth here. I don't. I have no idea.
Come on, Ryfun / Roth. What do you got?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't recall unless it was obviously while he was in captivity and Han is like in there with him. Maybe as they're escaping, he rips an arm off. I don't know.
I do want to get to Craig's question though. Can we talk about the blue elephant in the room?
Of course we can. Go ahead. Yeah,
Max Rebo.
So
Max.
I need to even bring it up further because our good friend, our good friend Pete Feltzer, pinged Pablo. Pablo said that he only had 2 appendages. Every figure that I've ever seen has 4 appendages.
It's true. There are feet and hands here.
So in watching the episode again, it really does look like there's only 2 appendages there. It looks like he's only got arms because he's sort of like sitting up on the keyboard, like with nothing underneath him, and he's only got arms.
So he's like a slug, like Jabba.
Yeah, it's very like slug like. I mean, he's only got
that mall treatment somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
Anyways,
what happened was he played Jedi Rocks, and someone was so offended that they cut off his legs.
That was me. I'll take credit for that one.
Yeah, so that was. Yeah,
I think
Max.
the big moment coming out of that was, we've kind of talked about it. Of course, there's no line, so I don't know if he was credited in other credits. But she says, "Hit it, Max," and that gave everybody what they've been waiting for, was the confirmation that it really was him.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. So Roth is saying that it was either a robot, or in Star Wars that's called a droid, or a pike. I can't remember, but I don't see a screen grab. Oh, he saw a screen grab on our far. Okay. Look, we don't talk about other podcasts on here. This is not. No,
Which is we've talked about several.
I know we've talked about several. So basically, Boba offers Chrysanthemum a job, and Chrysanthemum comes along. At that point, because we see him during the meeting, kind of like hanging out in the background, which is interesting that none of the Klatooinians, Aqualish, or Trandoshans didn't feel like they were afraid of him at all, because he was sort of just like standing in the background during that meeting, which I thought,
you have my protection.
That was interesting.
As Boba, I protect you.
That meeting was really interesting. I thought Boba rolled over a little bit too quickly on them not wanting to be a part of
that was like, well,
at all.
Then I'll do it.
Yeah, he basically was like, I'll handle it all, and you guys will. Well, he said basically, don't. What did he say?
Point of order.
That's okay. Go ahead. We'll come back to this.
Oh, I missed it. What? Go ahead. Go. What's the point of order? Was there no arms ripped off in Solo?
I didn't see something about Solo, but there's a deleted scene from Force Awakens where he ripped off Unkar Plutt's arms.
Yes.
That doesn't count. That's a deleted scene, though.
Right.
I mean, that doesn't count.
So it doesn't count. That's all I saw.
Clearly happened
in a quick Google. So
I would love to have seen. I would have loved to have seen his arm get pulled off in Force Awakens, but yeah, I mean that didn't. Yeah, I know, Fatmatic, that he did that for a reason. That he basically.
He's building respect.
He's building respect. He's building a rapport with the other clans. I mean, yeah.
Rapport, even better.
I mean, I guess, but at the same time, I don't know. I didn't like it. It's apparently it's like akin to some show called Sopranos that I'm not very familiar with.
Oh, God. I've never seen Sopranos, but come on. Why would it not be akin to Godfather?
Okay, yeah, it's akin to Godfather.
Godfather had the
much more akin to Godfather. You're right.
I wanted an Untouchables one where he comes with a baseball bat. Let's talk about baseball.
Yeah. And he did scare them. He did scare them quite a bit with the Rancor.
The Rancor.
That was pretty cool. The Rancor claw came out. So the big deal with that is that he said he's going to take care of the Pikes. I still hope that the Pikes are not the big bad. I really hope that it's something else, but
it's Kingpin.
I don't think they are.
It's Kingpin. It's Mephisto.
No, it's Mephisto, right?
Yeah, exactly. Wait, Craig, even you have watched Sopranos? Wow. I guess it's something I'm going to have to do at some point. I don't know. I'm a busy man, though.
Is Fatmatic saying something about the next episode? Is there something that's supposed to? Was there music that we heard or anything?
Oh, yeah.
Right at the end,
The cue.
No, I don't think there was anything that happened at the end of the episode.
There's a big cue, a very obvious cue.
Oh, Garrison, we know. You know.
Now that doesn't necessarily mean it's Din.
Come on.
No.
You cannot play the Mandalorian theme and not bring in Din at some point.
Yes.
No, I don't know if it's going to be this episode. I think most people think it will be chapter 5, but we'll see. I mean,
it may be the end, but
it might be like at the very end.
Maybe the cavalry that comes in.
I think it's penultimate. I don't think it's tomorrow.
Yeah, that's how usually in these series, the penultimate episode is the big episode. Now, that necessarily was not the case in season 2 of Mando. I mean, the Luke Skywalker episode was the finale. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, I mean, one of the biggest things that I kind of got out of this episode, and we glossed over the scene a little bit just because I wanted to bring it back up at the end, is that line that Boba Fett says that you can only get so far without a tribe. He is, in thinking about Boba's life, he has never had that so-called tribe that he's really been with. He tried it a little bit in the Clone Wars, but you can't really be tribe-like with bounty hunters. That's not really ever going to work. Yeah, and I know, I mean, Boba's mentor, they'll stab you in the back first chance. Boba's mentor's Cad Bane. But he learned this really from the Tuskens. And just that
Jacob.
Oh, okay.
He'll have a new ship.
He will have a new ship. Yeah. Sorry, dude. Sorry, dude. Man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is what I'm thinking, Brian. I don't know that he knows about Omega yet. If he does, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the series that's going to do it. I don't know. I like the idea of it because obviously at this point in his life, he's very interested in having that tribe.
I feel like you have to be really careful if you're going to set up Omega, where you have her appearing in the future before you've even set up her present story.
Yeah.
Of course, they know where they're kind of going, but you don't want to have to contradict something, and that would just be messy.
I think as much as people have kind of clamored for that, talked about that, knowing that we've got Bad Batch season 2 coming this spring, I don't think that they're going to do that right now with this. I think it's going to be something else.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I do just like that they're really spelling it out to the audience that, look, this is a Boba that is very different. This is a Boba that wants a family. He wants a tribe. What? Oh, is this calling for Dr. Earl?
He wants somebody that does siesta.
Yes. Yeah. There you go. You got it.
You got it.
Rekka.
Boba.
Omega.
And he's like, I'm New Zealand. Why are you from Australia?
No. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I know we talk about it a lot, and I know it is talked about a lot, but that whole concept of Star Wars and found family, I'm stealing a Nick line because it comes up a lot, but it's very apparent that Boba, even like while he was saying that line, he had a very like forlorn look on his face. That is something that he desires at this point in his life. I mean, he's never had it before. He saw his dad get murdered. He's like, everything in his life has been about loss. And unfortunately, he saw a bunch of his tribe that he thought he had that brought him back from the dead. He saw them. So he's kind of like on this semi-revenge tour at this point. But
this
also
is where the back tank healing begins.
This is where the internal healing begins.
Basically become an anti-hero. Because a hero would not come in and rule over Jabba's palace. And
yeah.
Right. I mean, I think he has the right motivation, though. I mean, I think he wants to try and bring crime away from it.
Anti-heroes typically do have the right motivation, but maybe the slightly wrong way of going about things.
No, I disagree. It was murder. Murder.
It depends on which way you see the angle, the camera.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts about the episode, guys? I mean, we'll sort of go around. Ryfun, I mean, anything we missed or any final thoughts about the episode?
I don't really have anything we missed off the top of my head.
How did this thing end? I was trying to remember.
Like, there is some stuff, but I don't.
They were standing on the balcony and the song played. What do you mean? How did it end?
Okay, there wasn't a stinger. There wasn't.
No, there wasn't a stinger. No, there wasn't.
It just dawned on me. Oh yeah. They played the man. Oh yeah. Okay.
I thought it was probably, in my opinion, it was the best episode of the series so far.
I agree.
Maybe that's some of my Mandalorian love bleeding into the show. And honestly, whatever. If that's what helps me get through the rest of this show, then and happy about it, then and be happy about it. That's fine.
Well, I mean, Chapter 5 supposedly, if IMDb is to be believed, is the Bryce Dallas.
Mikey, stop.
It's the Bryce Dallas Howard episode.
Oh, okay.
I think it is. I think it is the Bryce Dallas.
She's definitely
Howard.
one of the next 3.
One of the next 3, exactly. Earl, did we miss anything? Any final thoughts on what you thought about this episode?
I mean, there were some parts I thought production-wise were a little, like the shape, her stomach, and some of the things. I mean, just some minor little things, but I think overall, I mean, I do think it was a more intriguing episode as we, and I'm super happy we're done with the Back to Tank flashbacks. I hope, and
Good Lord.
Let's move onward, and I'm interested to see where it goes. What about you, Nick?
I'm just really sorry. I got distracted by a Roth comment out of nowhere.
We talked about it earlier with the mod parlor and the midsection and some of that. It had a hot second, and when he puts his hand up and it's the big claw with the very pronounced all the it reminded me of the bathroom buddy from from Gremlins. Flipping all the different accessories out. But I also, when reflecting on it, and I think I watched this one 3 times since last week, it's the camp in Star Wars that a lot of times we talk about, and in moments we complain about, but ultimately I'm I don't really care that much. The slow Power Ranger speeder chase from the other week. Ultimately, I don't really care. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was, you could explain it a bunch of different ways. It was Space Cuba. It was, whatever it was.
Right.
But
I like that. Going
out of this one, I think you're right. I think we've seen, the flashback stuff. That was an intentional moment for the robot to say, you're fully healed. We don't have to do this again.
Yeah.
I've compared to this point, the Back to Tank has been the Wayne's World version of, that's what it is. But I'm really interested to see the next 3 episodes because I think they have the potential to be on fast forward. I think we have the potential to get a real war of the bounty hunters, a real war of setting up something real. And we talked about the big bad earlier, and I think I said it last week. I think this is the right opportunity, even if he's not physically present, whether it's a hollow projection, whether it's another name drop, to give it a little bit of a Thanos vibe. I think Thrawn is the best possibility of who is scary enough that the Hutt said, you know what, we don't need to play with this. We've got to go. Yeah. And it sets up what we know is coming ultimately in the Ahsoka series. And that's something that we've seen in Mandalorian. They bring Ahsoka, they bring Bo-Katan. We've got these other things. I will say what I'm excited about, talking about that last musical sting, if we get Din, and I think that, there's of course the potential for it to be a little bit of a misdirect because there's lots of people that could be a hired gun. Yeah, you could have Bo, you could have Space Bill Burr, you could have, any number of other people that could be a part of that.
Yeah.
Cobb Vanth.
I want nothing more than for it to be Cobb Vanth.
Yeah, me too.
Yes. No.
As a diehard Cobb Vanth and Justified stand. Oh, great. Rhett's here. Hold on. I had a thought. I'm coming back.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Rhett. Almost done.
You were talking about Cobb Vanth as a fan of Justified. You would really love
to
see him.
There's a lot of different ways that could go. What hit me halfway through the week was if Din shows up, based on where we left Din at the end of Mandalorian, Din has the Darksaber. That also has the potential to be a factor in this whole thing. So I have no idea what we're going to get. I'm excited about it, but
don't put that up.
I am excited. No, I'm not. I'm super excited about it too. I would love Cobb Vanth. I mean, and it kind of, I'm
it makes sense. Why he's on the planet?
He's on the planet. Yeah, exactly. Why haven't they gone there? He's just hanging out in Anchorhead or something. Is that where he is?
I think the challenge in it is Well, he's in Mos Pelgo, which is where he was when he was
Mos
the
Pelgo.
marshal.
Yeah.
Bob
I
Vance?
think the challenge in it and the way it's kind of broken down is if she's saying you can buy muscle if you have money,
right?
For Boba, unless he gets Din first and then goes, hey, we're going to crew up. Here's the other people I know. You kind of have to look at it like who did Boba interact with directly? He interacted with Bo-Katan. He interacted with Bo's, Casca Reeves and what's his name. He interacted with Space Bill Burr.
Mm-hmm.
He interacted with Din.
Yeah.
He didn't interact directly with Cobb Vanth because Din had the armor.
That's true.
Point.
That's true. Right. Yeah.
If you're looking at it from a logistical way. But yeah, I mean,
That'd be an interesting dynamic though.
Yeah. We could
get
a crew together episode.
Was he sort of like a policeman in a way?
Kind of like he was a marshal. I mean,
Cobb, he was kind of the marshal, the sheriff of that town. He was basically Deadwood, but in space.
Brett. I do want to address one thing in the chat about Whataburger. So here's the problem with Whataburger. It's really good in Texas. But when in Alabama and apparently Georgia as well.
Oh, it's awful.
It's garbage in our two states. But I've had Whataburger in Texas and it is very good. The beef just hits
QC.
The beef hits differently in
Texas.
Not
terrible. It's not terrible.
I don't know. Yeah,
literally we've had
get out of here before
tangent. We've had 2 Whataburgers open up, and they have both closed within a year in our town. And are both completely different restaurants that have been open for much longer.
Well, whatever.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm gonna maybe speak to Brian's comment. The Whataburger that's just south of Oak Mountain. When you go to a concert and you leave that concert at 11:30 at night and you need some food on the way home because you've drank some overpriced beers, that's a good place to hit
That's a different story, though.
It's a good hit. Yeah. No, it's not bad.
Yeah, talk about those overpriced.
Thank you for tuning in to Fast Food for the Newscast Extra.
Hey, that's the extra.
Hey, right. And I'll say this about somebody was talking about.
Let's go.
Somebody was talking about In-N-Out. I have never had a bad In-N-Out. And I've been to different states. Yeah, so I've been to one in Texas. I've been to one in California and in Nevada and Vegas. All 3 In-N-Out experiences were very good. Oh, this guy's back. Let's get rid of him. Let's block him. We don't need that guy.
About burgers there.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways. Well, I think we've said everything we need to about this episode. And before it gets too insane with Rhett being here, he came late, so we gotta get out of here. The chat's going absolutely insane. Ryfun, where can the people find you on the internet? God.
Quit looking at the chat. Don't even.
You can find me on Twitter at SEPASH3. You can find me on Letterboxd at GRyfun. You can find me on the Deucecast Discord. You can obviously find me here Tuesdays as we are planning out a schedule that I'll probably send some of to Mikey. I would not say McDonald's is the best, but it's good when you don't have a lot of money.
That's true. That's true. Hey, it got me through the short amount of time I was in college in Florence, Alabama. They had 25-cent Tuesdays. We would stock up on those things and freeze them. Oh, it's the way to go. Anyways.
Yeah, you will not find me at any Whataburgers.
Rhett knows what I'm talking about with the McDonald's in Florence. Anyways, what do you got going on there, Dr. Earl? You're nowhere. You're in the Deucecast Discord, hanging out, being pretentious.
I mean, you can find me sometimes at Dairy Queen getting a burger.
A DQ shout out. That's interesting.
They're gone. It's gone. It's closed.
Oh.
The one on 280 is open.
Is it still there?
As often as they can keep employees, which isn't very often.
We don't go to Dairy Queen to get food. We go to Dairy Queen to get food with the
right.
I understand.
with the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Blizzard.
Yeah. I need to hear from Melissa. She's a professional chef. I need to know what her favorite fast food is so I can start going there. Because that's what I would want to do. All right, Nick, plug your stuff. Tell the people where you can be found.
I mean, I feel like I'm everywhere most of the time at this point.
You are a lot.
The big thing I want to push this Friday night, streaming Star Wars, me and Pete Fletzer from around the galaxy. We will be talking about tomorrow's episode. We've kind of gotten into a mode where we watch it on Wednesday. He and I don't really talk to each other, and we also don't watch any other recap shows so that we can come into Friday night fresh ideas,
good.
thoughts, and we have a guest. Our guest this week is actually Heather Antos. Heather is one of the senior editors at IDW Comics, and she has been involved with Black Chrysanthemum in the comics prior to in the earlier editions when he first showed up. So I'm really excited to talk to Heather to find out, about some of that history and what she thinks about it. Him in Book of Boba, all that kind of stuff. Everywhere else on social media at Whills Pod, we're working our way through Return of the Jedi canon studies. I've recorded several episodes recently. The next episode comes out this next week on Thursday, and it will be Matt and Sean from the Blue Bantha Milk Company. And if you don't know Blue Bantha Milk, it's one of the funniest Star Wars things that's happening, in my opinion, right now. They generate scripts out of AI.
Oh,
like
it's
they
awesome.
have done, like,
That's
episode 2.5, where they went halfway between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, and like create these whole things. They've got a Lando Calrissian Chronicles series, like such fun, created by AI, live table reads, super, super fun. So we dig into chapter 3 of Return of the Jedi canon studies, and just at Whills Pod everywhere. You'll find out. Like I said, I'm annoying in a lot of places.
No, we love you, Nick.
I gotta say one more thing. Sorry.
Okay, dude,
Zaxby's is better than Raising Cane's.
I've never done the Raising
Cane's.
Yeah, it's a chicken place. I've never been.
Is Zaxby's and Raising Cane's are the same thing, basically.
Oh,
same
interesting.
Food, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been to a Raising Cane's.
I've never been to a Raising Cane's. I don't know.
They must be in Georgia, so I might have to go over to Georgia.
I think we were in South Carolina or something in an away game when we were we were a much better football school than we are now.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but I totally agree with you, Brian. Culver's is not.
I'm going to shout out Matt, because if we're doing tournament style, Taco Bell is going to be the most consistent winner you can go with. So.
Yeah, totally. And the Melissa did shout that out as being her being a professional chef. These were her 3 choices here: Raising Cane's, In-N-Out, and Taco Bell.
There you go.
Sauce is just Zach sauce.
But somebody did it before Zaxby's.
Yes, Zaxby's did
Guthrie's.
it first.
There's Guthrie's.
I'm just going to go ahead and lay claim when we do a tournament bracket for this, I want to be on that episode. Just
maybe that'll be one of the episodes. Oh, speaking of, Ryfun, go ahead. Do you have a list of episodes that you want to shout out that we're going to do?
Well, we talked about we're going to do the Batman discussion on March 8th. On March 5th, tentatively on March 15th or March 22nd, whenever. We're going to do a Marvel and Star Wars in 2022 discussion, talking about all the things upcoming for the year.
Whoa.
I've already taken notes for the entire episode.
I'm ready for that one then. That's good. That's good.
I've got it ready. It'll be a long episode if we really talk about everything.
No, we'll do it. Yeah.
Also, I wrote down tentatively Galaxy Book of Boba Fett, or Gallery Book of Boba
Gallery.
Fett. Sorry.
Because I assume that's going to happen.
That. Oh, yeah.
I figure they'll do that. Yeah, they haven't announced it yet, but I figure they will.
So that would leave us with one open date on the 29th, which is what I was talking about, which we can either add something if we get something.
We'll figure that out. Yeah.
Or take it off.
Because when does Moon Knight start? On the 30th?
30th, yeah.
Okay, that's right. All right. We'll do it. We'll
Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Well, no, the episode comes out Wednesday.
No. I know. I'm just saying. Doing our show on Tuesday, I always feel like, wow, it's so long since.
No. You want to give people a time to digest and watch it multiple times
and be ready for the next one.
Plus, in my world, it's like every single show that I watch, as far as like recap shows, are like there's one on Wednesday, there's one on Thursday, there's one on Friday. So I like to wait till Tuesday before
And if we did it Friday, I mean, Nick probably couldn't be a part of it.
Okay, I do have to put this up because it's pretty funny. Oh god! All right, you can find us on YouTube every Tuesday. Right now, we're talking about Book of Boba Fett and 1883. 1883 will be back next week.
Should run through your episodes for that should run through March 1st. Just
I think March 1st is probably because I doubt they're going to take another break. That would be 3 breaks in a very short season, so I doubt they'll take another break. So we'll be back next week also to talk 1883. We're getting out of here fairly quickly for a Deucecast extra, which works for me tonight. I appreciate everybody in the chat. It was a lot of fun. It really makes it fun for us as people talking about this show to participate with the chat as well. if you guys could share the episode, that would help us get subscribers. We're slowly but surely getting there. We're at 60 now, I think. And
Wow.
Brian gave me a good tip to always let the bots stay subscribers. So I'm trying to let all the bots stay subscribers.
Keep deleting those Russian bots, man.
Yeah.
Well, if they subscribe, I'll let them be subscribers, but I just don't want them in the chat.
Whatever that VORED thing is.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
That's the
weird thing is they're not even linking to anything.
I know they're not even. It's
they're
very
Russian
strange.
launch codes for Ukraine or something.
Yeah.
So
they've been letting us know about Ukraine for a little bit. So
that's right. That's right. We will for sure be back next week. Garrison, Dr. Earl, Nick, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this evening. It's been really fun, and we will catch you guys next week.